In this video, we compare the Apple iPhone 14 and 14 Pro with the iPhone 14 Plus and Pro Max and highlight the key differences between the four new iPhone 14 models. But first, please like and subscribe to this channel, and then sit back and relax. Apple's event in September 2022 saw the company announce a whole new slate of smartphones that offer exciting photography features, including Action Mode, Apple ProRAW, upgrades to the main cameras, and many other features. To help you decide which iPhone 14 model will be right for you, we have shown you a comparison above that illustrates the difference between the iPhone 13 and 14. For the time being, we've compiled all the new iPhone 14 models, from the basic iPhone 14 to the iPhone 14 Pro Max, into this comparison. iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Plus comparison. The iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Plus, the first two devices in this family and the least expensive ones, are contrasted here. Comparison of color and design. The 5 color options for the iPhone 14 are Product Red, Starlight, Midnight, Blue, and Purple. The base iPhone 14 weighs 172 grams, 6.07 ounces, is 7.80 millimeters, 0.31 inches deep, and has a 6.1-inch OLED Super Retina XDR display with rounded corners and a curved design. The iPhone 14 Plus, which has a 21% larger screen and weighs 203 grams, 7.16 ounces, has a 6.7-inch OLED Super Retina XDR display. Both models include essential features including True Tone, haptic touch, and an HDR display with a maximum brightness of 1200 nits. Every iPhone 13 model has an IP68 rating, water-resistant up to 6 meters, max 30 minutes. The A15 Bionico chip, which has a hexa-core CPU with 2 cores for performance and 4 for efficiency, powers both the iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Plus. The difference in cameras between the two phones. The iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Plus feature a similar 12-megapixel dual camera system with a wide and ultra-wide camera like the iPhone 13. However, it's worth noting that there's a new main camera and improved image processing that allows you to take pictures in low light. Apple claims that the main camera's low light performance should be up to 2.5 times better, and the ultra-wide camera's low light performance should be 2 times better. iPhone 14 Plus camera. For improved low-light photographs, the True Depth front camera now has autofocus, a bigger aperture, and a stronger True Tone flash. Users will also benefit from a few more further changes. Content producers may now record 4K video at 24 frames per second, which is a frame rate used in professional film, and cinematic mode can automatically adjust focus to the most significant topic in a scene. Let's go now with the rear cameras. The iPhone 14 and 14 Plus have the same endowment, a main unit and another of the ultra-wide angle type. The same thing happens with the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max. They share their main camera, the ultra-wide angle unit, and also the 2 telephoto lenses with different equivalent focal lengths. Of course, one of them, the one that offers us the 2 magnifications, actually uses the optics of the main camera and uses only the central photodiodes of the sensor. We will check it later. The main camera of the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus incorporates a 12-megapixel sensor that works hand-in-hand with a 7-element optic with an f1.5 aperture value. That of the iPhone 13 is also supported by a 12-megapixel sensor, but its optics are slightly less bright than that of the new iPhone 14 and 14 Plus. It has an aperture value of f1.6. Of course, as expected, this camera incorporates optical stabilization by sensor displacement in both the iPhone 14 and 13. On the other hand, the ultra-wide-angle camera of the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus is supported by a 12-megapixel sensor that works in tandem with a 5-element optic with an f2.4 aperture value that is capable of giving us a 120-degree field of view. Curiously, the characteristics of the ultra-wide-angle unit of the iPhone 13 are essentially the same, so a priori this camera seems to have introduced no relevant innovation to the new iPhones. iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max comparison. Now we show you a comparison between the two most expensive models of the new Apple family, the iPhone 14 Pro and the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and the difference between both phones and the main differences between them. The distinction in colors and design between the two phones. The new space black, gold, silver, and deep purple are among the 4 color options for the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max models. Both phones have a stainless steel body, a matte glass back, and a ceramic front. The iPhone 14 Pro is 7.85 millimeters, 0.31 inches, thick, weighs 206 grams, 7.27 ounces, and has a 6.1-inch OLED Super Retina XDR display. The iPhone 14 Pro Max weighs 240 grams and boasts a bigger 6.7-inch OLED Super Retina XDR display. The brand new Dynamic Island feature is present in both models and combines notifications, alerts, and activities into a single dynamic location. With a 31% smaller true-depth camera system, more screen real estate is preserved. The lock screen is always visible on an iPhone, but when the device is face down or in a pocket, the screen turns off to conserve battery life. Both iPhone 14 Pro models come with the brand new A16 Bionic chip, which offers more energy-efficient performance to extend the battery life of iPhone 14 Pro models. The primary distinctions between the camera and image departments. Your phone photography is improved by the iPhone Pro camera. Major camera improvements are made in the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max, including the new 48-megapixel main camera with a cutting-edge quad-pixel sensor, iPhone 14 Pro Max camera. In addition to Apple's Pro RAW image format for higher detailed images, the sensor is 65% larger than the iPhone 13 Pro introduced in 2021. Additionally, the Pro camera system expands zoom options to 0.5x, 1x, 2x, and 3x by including a second 2x telephoto lens. The true-depth front camera now offers autofocus and a bigger aperture, just like the standard iPhone 14 models. Apple's new Photonic engine, which is available on all iPhone 14 models, combines the best pixels from several exposures into a single gorgeous image. The iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max support Dolby Vision HDR and ProRes video recording, playback, and editing, which is the best iPhone 14 to purchase. The iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max have fantastic camera upgrades, but the regular iPhone 14 models weren't the largest boost to the iPhone 13 series. If you're trying to decide which iPhone 14 model to acquire, the Pro version's better cameras make the biggest changes, but you also need to consider your budget. You might feel that the iPhone 14 base models are a better fit for you if you're not a smartphone aficionado and don't frequently play games or watch movies on your phone. The iPhone 14 models still include an excellent assortment of cameras. You'll only miss the upgraded 48-megapixel sensor and Apple Pro RAW. The iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max models will be your best choice if you're searching for greater visuals, gaming, and photography performance. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, the subscription button, and the notification bell to get notified when new videos are uploaded from this channel. Please share your thoughts about the differences between the iPhone 14 and the iPhone 14 Pro in the comment section below. Thank you.